It's thinking. It's thinking. We will be here shortly. Do, 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 do. Boom. There we are. We're live. Welcome. Welcome. Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming out. And, well, here's our special guest.
Hey, guys.
Altruistic Farmstead. A lot of you people didn't know them before last Saturday, and they've made one great big kaboom onto the scene. And I'll get on to how we actually met and chatted, and it's been very, very cool. So I just want to say hi to Lanny. Laney's on here. James. Hey, Margie. Who else we got? Christian's on. Lynette. And hello to, let me go way up here. Hello to Joe. Thanks for stopping by, Joe, but he had to go to a meeting. I still think that I'm better than a meeting, but whatever. And we've got Jesse and Lisa on the road. Travel safe, guys. And if we see any commenting, it'll be Miss Lisa as Santa Claus, old Jesse's rumbling down the road. And I think I said hello to everybody here so far. Oh, we can't forget about Matt. And yeah, so let me start by congratulating Rustic Woodwork on their 10,000 subscribers yesterday. That was great. And Donna, Little Southern Brothers, is in here. How are you doing? And
he was just telling us about y'all.
Didn't I just say that, everybody but Donna was really good at Little Southern Brothers, but don't tell Donna.
Yeah. I didn't remember that part, but
yeah. And let's see here. Now, before we get on to the whole, I'm not used to doing an agenda, but with so many things going on today, I've kind of set up a little bit of an agenda. And this week was a very blessed week. I've got some stuff to unbox, but it's not for me. Not sure why, but Lainey sent my wife and Mackenzie something. They're all in a nice little package. It's just like Christmas. They are what I call nanny slippers. All handmade, and thank you,
wow,
Lainey. That's absolutely not expected, but the girls are gonna very much appreciate this.
So does Lainey make those herself?
And what's that?
Does Lainey make those herself?
I don't know. I think she has a very good friend of hers makes it. And we got another pair. I'll pick that up after. But yeah, there's another pair. I like them because they're the little bit of a high top. So again,
they look warm.
Thank you, Lanny and Mel that made these. I'm told she might be in the background today, but she won't comment because that's just not her style. She likes to stay hidden. Well, I think they're absolutely beautiful, and it is so much appreciated. And my next package came from, I don't even know the company it came from. Don't know who it came from, who sent it to me. it showed up in the mail, and it's a pair of iPod or earpods
Ah,
and a selfie stick that goes
nice.
into a stand.
That'd be handy.
That'll
Thank
be
you.
awesome.
I don't know who sent it. But I really wish somebody would, if you don't want to be publicly thanked, then at least send me a message so I can privately thank you. I said to all the kids and my wife, I'm like, did you guys order something under my name? And they're like, no. I'm like, okay. And yeah, nobody. So it's got to be from one of my subscribers. I don't know, but thanks, guys. And no, I'm just taking a look here at the chat. I don't want it to get too far. LG, hey, Lori. And if Greg's there, hello, Greg.
And Greg.
And who else have we got coming in here? We got some more people just hiding behind the scenes, but that's okay. Hello to them too. And all right, so I'm going to start off with how I met Wiley and Jen. And if you don't think that there's another power or a stronger being, I've never met them. And I happened to log on to actually I was watching Lori and Greg's live feed last Saturday at Sulphur, and I got an alert that Altruistic Farmstead went live. I'm like, who are they? So I got on it, kind of me being me, chatted away, and it was just, throughout the day to hear updates on what you people were actually doing for the Sulphur meetup. And then I was out cutting grass and all that stuff. And then to see that you guys took all the leftovers and went to, I believe it was Oklahoma City.
Yes.
After Sulphur, which is quite a jaunt if I'm right with my, you had quite a distance to go feed the homeless or the needy,
Oklahoma City is not on our way home from Sulphur.
No, well, and that's what I kind of thought. It was like a way out of your way, but so that I happened to catch all your lives again, and I'm like, wow, these people are phenomenal. That got to hear a little bit of your story from folks that were at Sulphur, and it just touched me. And from there, sent you the message. We've kind of been chatting back and forth all week, and your live that you did the day after Sulphur, again, to thank Mike and Terry. It just goes to show that, you're all just so appreciative, and, that somehow, some way, God kind of made us meet. Mm-hmm. Not sure how, why, or, but I'm going to turn it over to you. And if you'd like to, a lot of these folks probably don't know your story. So if you want to go ahead, and you've got the floor.
He always makes me talk. Anyway, I'm Jen, and that's Wiley. And we started our channel because we felt like God was telling us to share what we were doing to help inspire others to maybe do something nice for someone else in their community. I was a letter carrier for 7 years, and last year kind of went through a phase where I felt like God was leading me to feed people. And I'd been doing Bible study every day, and I just felt like he was leading me to something else. Like, I had planned on retiring from the post office, but obviously that didn't happen. And Wiley hasn't been at work since May, due to some circumstances outside of our control. But let me back it up a little bit. In December for Christmas, our local rescue mission had done a Christmas dinner for the homeless. And we were blessed to be of service to them. And we had a couple hogs butchered in October. And so our freezers were full. And so we offered to bring food to that event. And we also stayed there and served everybody. It was phenomenal. Like, it really just, I don't know, felt right. Like, it lit our hearts on fire. And I quit my job nearly immediately. I went back to work for a couple of days, and my last day was December 31st. And we started our farm. We have since gotten cows, goats, pigs, ducks, rabbits,
Quail.
Turkeys.
I'm sure we probably missed a couple.
Yeah, we have a lot of animals. But our goal is to grow and raise food so that we have an abundance and can share with others. Our garden this year is by far the biggest garden that we've ever had. It's not quite big enough to feed everybody that we want to feed, but on that note, we'd also like to partner with other local farmers or gardeners or ranchers or whatever, and that way they can donate any extra fruits and vegetables they have, or any kind of food. If it's fresh and, suitable to prepare as a meal, we can turn it into meals to feed people. And if it's a little out of date, we can feed it to our pigs. So nothing goes to waste around here. What else do you want to say about that?
Gosh, I don't know.
Maybe
there's so
maybe
much.
Why don't you lead into why you decided to do this? I know you kind of touched on it a little bit, but
yeah, really, the why is really simple, and it's just because we feel like God's telling us that there's hungry people out there, and we have lots of bugs down here. As the homeless population rises and food insecurity becomes a larger issue. If you don't know what the definition of food insecurity means, it means that you may not know where your next meal is coming from. It means that you're not, a lot of people are in that situation. And so as this becomes more prevalent, due to, the past year or whatever, we've really come to realize that most of the food that is available to this demographic doesn't have any nutritional value. It is all like super processed in a box or a can. We fed this week we fed on Wednesday, and a local church gives out sack lunches, but it has like a little thing of Vienna sausages in it and some crackers. And it's all just, while it's food to fill your belly, it doesn't really nourish your body. So our goal is to not just fill bellies, but to nourish their bodies and hopefully their souls as well by, we don't try to push God down their throat or anything. If they ask us to pray for them, we're more than happy to do that. We tell them, when they ask who sent us, we tell them that God sent us, that we're not from a church. We just do this on our own because we know that there's hungry people out there. And, a lot of people are grateful that we show up and feed them a good, healthy, home-cooked meal without any strings attached, I guess.
And one thing, we don't want to specifically home in on the homeless.
It's really anybody who's hungry.
A lot of these people that come to the park actually have homes. And I would assume that, they probably get some kind of a check, but, whatever reason, if they're hungry on that day, I mean, anybody driving down the road and sees this, if they want to stop and eat a meal, it's there for them, and it's not specifically for the homeless, but
that's who we try to target.
That's who a lot of people that show up winds up being. Especially with COVID last year, and I mean, what looks like maybe even coming again.
There's a lot of people that lost their homes, and not everybody that's on the streets is on the streets because they've made bad choices.
Amen.
A lot of them have deal with mental illness. Some of them deal with substance abuse problems, but most of them just need a hand up. We met a couple people last week when we were feeding in Oklahoma City that one lady was out there because her husband got sick and she couldn't work, and she stayed at the hospital with him while he was dying, and she lost everything because she couldn't pay her bills. And now she's on the streets until she gets approved for housing list. And that just breaks my heart, and there's lots of people out there like that just went through a bad time in their life and may have lost somebody that they loved and just lost their minds and ended up in that situation. And something else that a lot of people don't think of is that, maybe their wallet was stolen. Now they can't even apply for a job because they don't have an ID or a social security card. And they can't apply for any sort of assistance without that. They don't have a mailing address where they can get mail. A lot of them don't have phones, don't have a phone, so they can't, when their name comes up on the housing list, nobody can even get a hold of them to tell them that it's available. So there's a lot of situations, or a lot of, things that are piled up on top of just being on the streets. And like I said, it's not always because those people have done and made bad choices. Sometimes life's just dealt them a rough deck. And our goal eventually isn't to just feed people, but to have access to resources to help them. And, maybe we can have a local barber shop willing to give them a free haircut. Maybe we can have a local thrift store willing to give them a couple pairs of clothes and clean them up. Maybe we can have somebody help them apply to get their driver's license replaced and their social security card. And maybe we can even get local businesses that are willing to hire somebody in that situation just to help them get a hand up. Some of these people don't want a hand out. They just need a little bit of help getting back on their feet. Not everybody's going to help. And that's when the Bible comes, when Jesus said, even when somebody does you wrong or takes advantage, you are supposed to forgive them 70 times, 77 times. I might have said that wrong. Don't quote me.
7 times 77.
Something.
7 times 7.
Either way, you're not supposed to keep track. And so we understand that, especially dealing with this demographic of people, there's going to be times that we're taken. There's going to be people that are just there, not for genuine reasons or because they want help. But that doesn't matter. We don't judge.
We're here. We're not here to judge. We're here to help.
Yep.
Period.
Yep. And there's going to be some people who want the help and really benefit from it. And that's what we're focusing on.
And we had talked earlier in the week, a lot of people up here where you're such a warmer climate, they ship out of the big cities, where here in Canada, the little towns ship into the cities. So we're role reversal. And,
right.
It's like I said, I'm working on a program right now, and it's child, to feed the children. It's, unfortunately, I'd like to do everybody, but unfortunately, starting out, as I don't have the means to do what you guys are doing. But there's different avenues, I've already shared the different apps and whatever, that, if we can look after here, a lot of people, they, we don't have the people waiting at home for healthcare. You know what I mean? We those people are all looked after. But it's the people that, with the prices after the pandemic, you can't do anything. Right. like, I just finished putting all our groceries away. We went into the city, into Costco, and I was just commenting to Debbie on the way home. I'm like, the food prices have skyrocketed.
They have here
Right.
too.
Right.
We were at the grocery store and we had gone to a different, like, we usually go to the big one, but we were closer to the littler store they're owned by the same company. One's just like an express store and the other one's full size. And I was like, man, everything's so much more expensive in this store. It wasn't. It had gone up everywhere.
It's, commenting, my son and I like these jumbo hot dogs. We treat ourselves once a month. Is it good for us? No.
No.
They're all beef. I'll give it that. They're all beef.
That's better.
So, you used to get 14 of them for, I think it was $10, $11. I just picked up a package today, $17.
Wow.
Was it still
in the
14 in the
last 6 months, and there's only 12 in the package now.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's, a head of lettuce is $1 more than what it used to be.
Yeah.
It's water. It's literally water. Cucumbers.
Right.
You used to be able to get like a big bushel of cucumbers for $10. We were looking today. Yeah, just a small package of them was $5.99 now.
Wow.
So people used to be able to go pickle, like buy a great big bushel and do a whole bunch of pickling and, kind of get through that way with some nutrition over the winter. Like I said, we're totally different up here. We have 4 months of growing based or, if you have a greenhouse, there's not very much you guys can't grow year round.
Right.
Or at least something you can grow year round. And it's just, it's so sad. And the childhood poverty in this area, I'm going to say Canada, childhood poverty is our biggest thing. Mom and dad, are spending every little bit of money on rent, cars, gas, insurance. We need 2 sets of tires here, not just one.
Yeah.
We need winter tires, we need summer tires. So it's, so what you guys are doing, just, it hit my heart so good, so hard that, I know a little bit just to have, what I've been dealing with here. And I'm hopefully going to be able to roll out my thing to try to battle child poverty in January. And, I just, hopefully I can make a go of it. And, again, I don't care if it's a child or not. I would prefer to do a child, but, anybody's hungry. This app doesn't discriminate. And,
right.
Like you said, you're going to have the folks that they can afford to go eat a meal at, $200 restaurant, but they'll take that food out of a hungry person's hands just because they can. And
right.
Like you say, you got to forgive those folks. We can't judge. There's only one person that will judge.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And hopefully none of us get to see him for a long time.
Yeah.
But
speaking of the childhood poverty things, we had talked about the toy drive that we do also.
Yes.
And that is kind of something that we've, started to help with the child poverty thing. It only helps during Christmas. But we'd like to expand into other areas, into helping kids and elderly people and veterans. And, we haven't quite figured out where those avenues are going to lead yet, but I feel like God is, has put it on my heart to do something for those demographics as well. But this Christmas will be the 4th year that we have done our toy drive. And as a letter carrier, I would pick up letters to Santa in mailboxes. And if they didn't have a stamp on them, I could keep them. And I would read those letters and they would just touch my heart. Some of those kids are so sweet. And there was a little autistic boy in Seminole that had wrote a letter to Santa, and he didn't ask for anything. He just wished Santa a safe trip and asked him, to watch out for flying obstacles in the sky. And he used those big words and it was great. And so that inspired me to write a letter back to him. And I wrote a letter back pretending to be Santa, and I delivered it to his mailbox. And, after he'd gotten it, his dad had stopped me and he was like, oh my gosh, that just made his day. And so fast forward a couple years, my best friend and I are like, hey, why don't we do a toy drive? At this point, neither one of us could afford to buy our own kids' Christmas presents. And we were, going to the dollar store, or someone else was showing up to our house a couple days before Christmas, dropping stuff off because they knew our kids needed it. And so because, we've received, we just want to give even more. And so we did this toy drive. And at first we were like, how many kids should we help? Like 10 sounds like a lot. Like that's more than we've got, and one day she prayed about it and she's like, seriously, how many people do you want to help? And I was like, well, 50 kids. I'm like, if you put 50 kids in a room, that's a lot of kids. So I was like, that's kind of high. And she's like, well, God said double it. And I was like, okay, God, I guess this is what we're doing, and that's exactly how I said it. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to obey, but I don't know how this is going to work out. That first year, we served 115 kids in our community that may not have gotten a Christmas somewhere else. And we didn't discriminate if it was a kid in a rich neighborhood that put a letter in their mailbox. We were happy we dress up like elves on Christmas Eve and knock on their door and deliver presents. And it is the expression on some of these kids' faces is absolutely priceless. One kid was like, oh, my friend said Santa wasn't real. And I was like, well, he's a busy guy, so we're just helping him out and dropping these toys off, And so the second year that we did it, we continued doing the letters to the kids on the street, but then we also partnered with a local organization, and they got us in contact with a school, like a low-income school. And we were able to serve 186 kids that year. Last year in 2020, we had to change things up a little bit because kids weren't in school. And we decided to be a little more targeted with our efforts because we knew that families had been, dealing with the effects of the pandemic for close to a year at that point. And a lot of them were behind on bills or hadn't been working or whatever. And we helped about 10 families last year, like whole families. And so last year, instead of making a big number of people, we made our impact big on a little number of people. And one woman, she was fighting cancer, and her kids had written letters and put them in her mailbox, and she didn't even know. And one of the letter carriers in my office had left that letter for me when I got back at the end of the day, and I opened it up and I cried. I cried so hard, and it was hard to read out loud because all of these kids, there was like 5 or 6 of them, huh? Yeah. There was a lot of kids, and every one of them in their letters, they didn't want anything for Christmas. They just wanted their mom to get better. It's going to make me cry. Anyway, she had fallen behind on some stuff, and she had a couple kids that were also special needs. And so she needed to go back and forth to the doctor, and a couple of her kids needed to see the doctors regularly. And we found out that the transmission was going out in her truck. So she'd been borrowing a car from somebody she knew. And we ended up having enough money donated that we were able to help some of the families out with some things. And this particular family, somebody had donated the money to buy a transmission, and somebody else had donated the service to install it, as well as we were able to help her with one of the bills that she'd gotten behind on, and it was about to be cut off. And so in addition to delivering big trash bags full of toys, we also got food donations and were able to give out a turkey and a ham, as well as many other things that you'd need to prepare a Christmas dinner, along with a $25 gift card for Walmart so they could go get things that, just that we missed that they would like, or for anything else. So that's something that we're going to do again this year. So y'all will be following that, I hope. It'll be awesome. It'll be awesome.
I'm I'm sitting here, and I'm a big old burly fella, and it just it's absolutely amazing to meet folks like yourselves that are making such a difference in not only children's lives, but so many people that I'm a big proponent of life is based on a whole lot of choices. Mm-hmm. Some in our control, some not in our control. And it's great that you people are able to look beyond the choices. And so long as the hand is extended, you'll feed, you'll nourish, you will feed their soul by prayer, by a simple hello, high five, whatever.
Zero judgment.
Absolutely.
That says a lot. When somebody can have a conversation with you without them feeling like you're looking down your nose at them, or you have negative thoughts going through your head.
Yeah.
It means a lot to just be treated like a human being.
Absolutely. And, to watch your live the other day and the way your whole family kind of rallied around Cowboy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He meant a few words, but you could tell he thought of you of like family.
Yeah.
There is a bigger story behind Cowboy. When I was younger and I grew up in Shawnee, what did he tell us? His 8-track was older than him, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay. 8-track was a Down syndrome man, and he wandered the streets in Shawnee, and he literally, that's where he got his name. His actual name's Howard, but he got his name, everybody called him 8-track, because you could take him at 8-track, or of course it involved, it evolved to cassette tapes and VHS. You could take one and unwind that thing and bring it to him in a wad. In 5 minutes, he would have it back together and playable. He was just that sharp on that kind of stuff. And anyway, he was known well around this area.
Turns out when we looked him up in the newspaper, his obituary, he'd worked for a nonprofit organization for 20 years.
20-something years.
And that's not inspirational. A man with Down syndrome worked for 20 years.
And anyway, we got involved in that Christmas dinner, and we wound up giving Cowboy a ride home that night because he had too much to carry. And during all that, I found out that Cowboy is 8-track's brother. Of course, we lost 8-track probably 10 years ago. But, I find this all out, and it just made even that much stronger a connection with Cowboy to me, And Cowboy lives at home with 2 more brothers. And guys, we have actually tried.
The house they live in is, first off, let's say they are happier than a bug in a rug there. But we helped him carry his stuff inside, and that house is.
You can literally stand in his living room and you're standing on dirt because the floor has rotted.
You look up and you can see outside.
You see the sky. They have blue tarps. You can see the blue tarps. You look, there's no insulation, no interior walls. You can see through the siding outside. And this was wintertime when we took him home.
And we were
So
like, oh my gosh, because he had told the guy rescue mission that when it snowed, it would snow on his bed because there was a hole in his roof. And we were like, oh my gosh, we got to do something for these guys. Through a lot of digging and working with a couple different organizations and some people that have some pull in Shawnee, we found out that their house has actually been on the demo list for quite a few years, but those in charge are kind of aware of the situation and they don't want to take their home from them. So they've just kind of brushed it under the rug. And so if we'd tried to get, I mean, we were going to get donations from people and try to like put a roof on it or put siding on it or whatever we had to do. But without like getting permits and stuff, like we don't want to raise red flags because it's already, people are trying to keep it on the down low. And if you try to put siding on that house or a new roof, it'd collapse.
The walls are so rotted that it wouldn't hold the weight, And so really, we've just had to back off. I mean,
it's really sad because we were ready to go full speed and do whatever we had to do. I mean, we have a sawmill. We were gonna mill up wood if we had to fix their house. But even to build a shell around it, we'd have to pour another footing, and you'd have to have a permit to pour a footing.
Yeah, it's just, and it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Stories like that. We, being in municipal politics here, I know exactly what they're doing, and it's been done here too.
Yeah.
Due to hoarding or just it's rotted out from neglect.
Yeah. Well, these guys all suffer. The whole family all suffer from mental illness.
There's 3 brothers that live in the home.
Yeah.
And they all.
And mom, of course, has been gone for years. They're all older men.
They said, why would we move? This place is paid for. They don't even know that they don't own that house anymore. It was sold years ago at a property at an auction. Or actually it was donated to a nonprofit organization that's not even around anymore. So there's not really a legal owner to that house.
Wow.
Yeah.
It'd be amazing that, somebody was able to help, but like that's you're talking thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, the city would probably make us tear it down and start over, and that would require a lot of permits and a lot of money and licenses
and not only that, but then you're doing it on something that was sold at a tax auction, donated to a nonprofit. It really don't even have an owner. So
try to find a legal owner.
Right. So I mean, where do you stand? Period. There's nothing.
Because we could put a new house there, and then someone comes by and is like, "Oh, that's a brand new house on my property."
Yeah. Thanks for the new house.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Get out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's people in this world that would do it.
Yeah.
It's so sad. And I just want to take a minute and hello to everybody that came in. I'm not ignoring you, but we're in a very good chat as you guys can. You've been in for any length of time. You can tell we're in some pretty good fellowship here, and I did see Little Southern Brothers. Absolutely, if you would, they had put here. Funny that you're on that topic today. If it's okay, Scott, I'm going to share something here. One night, Tommy and I was sitting here watching YouTube, and a commercial came on TV, and it touched our heart. Well, for goodness sakes, Donna, let us know what it touched and how it touched it.
Yeah, right.
You didn't give us
Well, see, Donna doesn't do cameras. So if I was to say, yeah, come ahead on, it'd probably be a no, but she'll type it here.
And let us know.
Yeah, please. I'm not ignoring anybody. We're just kind of chatting, and all that I want to
Fallen Arkansas Veterans had a question.
Uh-oh, I think he locked up.
Uh-oh. Oh, no, it's not here.
I'm back. We lost them. Where did they go?
What is...
Why isn't this?
You guys back?
Apparently our service is not working very good or something because we can't hardly hear you.
Are you back? Oh no. Can anybody hear us?
You're starting to come in a little bit.
I don't know what you just crashed and then I kind of crashed and okay, now we're back.
Okay.
I don't think
Fallen.
Wait a minute.
Oh.
Yeah, they're saying that they can hear us and see us. Oh, LG said that it was buffering on her end. Oh, they say it's me. They say it's me cutting in and out.
Oh.
Okay, well, let me know, guys, if it starts happening again, and I'll go back onto I'll go off my cell phone instead of the house Wi-Fi.
So, Fallen Arkansas Veterans asked, could you raise money to buy them a big shed house and put it on their property? The problem is they have a shotgun house right now, and the lot is so small that there wouldn't be room to do that because that's something else we'd consider.
And
also.
Not only that, but it is in city limits, and they wouldn't allow a shed to house conversion in city limits.
Well, and not only that, they don't even know the legal owner of the property.
Right.
So,
yeah,
right.
and somebody else had asked that. I have to find it again. Oh, M. Pedmar said, yes, I agree, James. Contact Habitat for Humanity and start a GoFundMe. Find out if the taxes have been paid on the property. If not, find out about buying it for taxes.
But
that is something that we haven't done yet.
Look into that.
That is a good avenue. Thank you for that suggestion.
If it's been given to a nonprofit, there shouldn't be any taxes on that property.
Through our research, we had realized that had been done, and we weren't told that it had back taxes on it. So that might very well be the case.
Yeah, normally whenever it's put under a nonprofit, the city will get the money through the federal government, through different grants and whatever else. It's not as much as if somebody was to pay property tax, but they're compensated a little bit. So, now getting back to what I was saying earlier, I just want to get Jen and Wiley's word out and get them a few more subscribers. And, the more people that we get to help them, the more people they're able to help. They work all day on the farm, getting ready. They do their Wednesdays. They heard about sulfur and called Brandon. They brought a full spread to sulfur and fed everybody that was at that meetup. And like I say earlier, they still were able to go feed how many people in Oklahoma City, guys? Did you keep track?
Probably a couple dozen between 3 different homeless camps.
I would say between 20 and 30, somewhere around in that area.
So, Margie, if you can throw their link up again. So Donna, I was telling them about you guys, Donna, so you better go live tonight. And, remember you sent me that message yesterday about YouTube pulling you down and whatever. Mm-hmm. They did it to them as well. Singing gospel music, they got dinged for copyright.
We found out last night that it was the music in the background that
was being played at the splash pad. We weren't even playing music.
Soon as you sent me the message and I played it, I heard it right away, and I'm like, that's what they got you on right there.
Thank you for taking a look.
There should have been a little green button, and it should say fix or if you click that, at least you're still, once the time comes, it'll still be a monetized video.
Right. I forgot what else I was gonna say.
So, well, why don't we? Okay, finish that, and then I want to go somewhere else.
Okay, you had asked another question when we had been here when we had talked earlier this week.
That's what I was just about to ask you.
Oh, okay. Well, then let's move on to the next subject.
So, what does it actually take to feed each person?
Right now, like I said, our mission is to eventually be feeding off of our farm, but our calves are still too small. You know, our garden, we're working on it. And so a lot of the stuff still comes from the grocery store. But even at that, we prepare about 50 meals per week. And it ends up being about $1 per serving. And it's good stuff. Like this next week, we're making meatloaf and mashed potatoes and something else to go
probably
with
green bean, corns, something like that.
So we're not out there serving them peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
And you say, so $50 pretty much in groceries right now per week.
Yep.
And then a couple hours of cooking.
Well, next week's on a Canadian. I'll send you $50 today.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I'm going to challenge everybody that's watching this. Go over to their channel, even if you can give $1. It is $1 more. And, like I said, before, I don't care if it's used to feed them, to purchase a new hog. You've got to keep stock in your farm if you're going to feed. Or, you got to feed. So, even if anybody, I know there's a lot of people from Oklahoma in the area. If you know anybody that owns a grocery store, they throw out so much extra produce, bread that would feed their hogs for next to nothing. And they can, there you go. Lainey from number 1, she's going to match me.
Wow.
So awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a PayPal link on our YouTube channel.
Okay. So
our Facebook page.
I'll flip it over.
Okay.
Yeah, they
also,
have. Oh, just a sec. Donna, they have PayPal on their YouTube link. And if not, get a hold of me if you can't get a hold of them, and I'll figure something out.
Also, if you're nearby, we can take food donations or paper plates and napkins and, that kind of stuff. Or even a pair of shoes for somebody. It's fixing to get cold. We're planning on doing a tent and sleeping bag kind of drive for them because it does get cold here in the wintertime. I mean, we're in the South, but this last year when we had that big snowmageddon, there were a lot of people out there that couldn't stay warm.
And that's it. You guys had a heck of a winter.
Yes.
And
socks are like gold to these people.
Up for any homeless. I know up here, my wife worked at the largest trauma hospital in the city of Ottawa, and the homeless people, they would come in and they would have to cut the socks off their feet.
Right.
Their skin started growing through their socks.
Right. And I take advantage of the fact that I can just open up a drawer and pull out a clean pair of socks every day. Not everybody has that.
Yeah. Well,
it's such a simple thing, and not everybody has it.
And that's it. So, if you've got extra clothes that you could shove in a box and somehow get it to them, send them a private message. It doesn't have to be done in public. I know a lot of my family, community subscribers, some like to do, and they don't care if people know. But they also, Lainey wants to know if you have a PO box or some way that they can ship you stuff.
If you reach out to us privately, we'll give you our address.
There you
we
go,
haven't
Lainey.
been able to invest in a PO box yet. We'll get there, but that's why we haven't posted our PO box on any of our stuff, is because we haven't gotten one yet.
And I'm the same way. Everything just comes to the house right now, so I just couldn't justify spending that kind of money on a PO box.
Yeah.
But Donna asked, whereabouts are you located?
Tecumseh, Oklahoma.
There
We
you go,
are
Donna.
about 30 miles east of Oklahoma City.
Okay. Sorry, I just had to have a little bit of water there. So yeah, like I say, anybody that's watching the rebroadcast, you can either reach out. Their YouTube channel's been posted here a bunch of times. I'm sure Lainey will post, or Margie. Sorry, I'm getting everybody all confused here. I'm in a Twitter here right now. Yeah, Margie will probably post it again. And, like I say, $1, $2. And I've also talked to Cassie. I bought one of their beef shirts. And if I win the beef, it's yours.
Wow. Thanks.
That's awesome.
So
that would feed a lot of people.
Well, it's half a cow.
And people also mention that they're like, wow, this is a lot of meat, because meat is expensive. And so at other organizations, they don't get a lot of it. Usually when they get spaghetti, it's sauce and noodles. So
I can remember as a kid, there's some times that we couldn't have sauce on the noodles.
Right. Same here. Yeah.
Like, and there was a time in our life where, an outing was going to a relative's cottage and sharing 2 sandwiches and 1 bottle of pop between 3 of us.
Right.
So I get it. And, just to be able to, I'm not sure the weight of the cow, but, like I was saying to Cassie that, if my name's drawn on Sunday, it's yours. And if you don't have the freezer space, let me know, because I know enough people now around YouTube that I'll try to find you a freezer somewhere.
Well, as of right now, we've got 1 freezer full of hog meat and 1 freezer full of chicken, I believe.
Well, I would love to hear on Sunday that you've got 1 full of beef too.
Yeah. There's a little room left. We could probably squeeze some in there.
Yeah.
But these guys are getting pork and thinking that they're kings.
Yeah.
Could you imagine what would happen if we was to bring them,
like
whether
Ribs or something.
Ribs or something, something like that. That's just, I don't know.
Well, and like you've said before, you've went and nourished these people and come home and had hot dogs yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It
when
just goes
we're
to
cooking
show.
all day, we're just like, man, we don't feel like cooking for ourselves now. So we'll take the easy way out.
That's it. And it's just not Jen and Wiley. They've got 4 kids. 4, right?
Michael, Emily, Hunter, and Lily.
Yes.
And they're between 6 and 15. Actually,
we've got 9
between the 2 of us.
Mine's just older and gone. So we have one visiting us today. He's up at the house, but we have the youngest one. He's 16. He's visiting us today. But
Oh, very, very cool. So, yeah, we're coming on an hour here, but anybody have any questions? Or Donna, do you want to come on and share what you were talking about, or did I miss it?
She's just going to leave us hanging, ain't she?
She better not, because I'm known as the sheriff on their channel. So.
Uh-oh.
I just want to say I'm wearing my Twisted Bee Minis hat. If y'all haven't checked her out, we met her at the Sulphur meetup, and they had that little horse, and it was just so adorable. If Lily was there, Lily would have died.
Is that the couple that's friends with Brandon? They also have a
yes,
camel.
It is.
And okay,
They are yes. Their neighbors. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I thought that was who it was, but I just wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So Donna has not shared with us, and I'm going back over. So if you want,
you done give her stage fright by calling her out a while ago.
Yeah.
What's that? Sorry.
I said you done give her stage fright by calling her out a while ago.
Oh, don't. I'm not worried about it.
Thank you, Homestead Aquarius. They said, excellent work you folks are doing. Keep up the good work. Thank you, and very much intend to, as well as expand so that our, that we can help even more.
That's it. And, it's fine and dandy to be self-sufficient off your farm, but, it's not only buying the meals, but you got to start replacing what you're dispatching and putting into freezer camp. So, that's not cheap either. So anybody knows of folks that, have a couple steers or a steer or, a couple hogs. Anything.
We bought 2 bottle calves in January. So they've got a while till they're big enough to eat.
Probably next year at this time.
Yeah.
At the earliest. Yeah.
But even though bottle feeding, I went from being a letter carrier to bottle feeding 5 animals every day. We had 2 bottle calves and 3 bottle goats. It was a full-time job just to keep them fed 3 times a day.
Wow. Absolutely. Yeah, you guys have melted.
We'd be happy to take one if somebody wanted to donate one.
So in case,
and that's it. Go ahead, Wally.
In case, for the people that hasn't seen our pages or anything, I also do woodwork. Got a sawmill and I do woodwork. Every dime that goes off of that goes back into supporting the farm. That's what feeds our animals. That's what, that buys meals now and then for the people we feed. That, everything I sell as far as that goes, we do all kinds of custom orders. Of course, everybody, it's kind of hard to ship that kind of stuff, but some of the smaller things maybe. But
well, if they're willing to pay for it.
Right. We have just now reached 200 subscribers. I think last night went over 200 subscribers.
Awesome.
So we will be doing a live on Sunday at 3:00. I built another cedar rolling pin, and we're going to give it away for anybody that comes to our live. We're going to put them in only way we have to do it is just put paper in a hat and pull a name out, but we're going to give a 200 subscriber giveaway Sunday.
Absolutely amazing. So let's kind of go over to the chat. And has anybody got any other questions? And I see Donna is going to leave us hanging. I just have to, every time I go to read something, this darn thing. There we go. As soon as she has all the details, I will definitely share. She's just keeping us hanging. That's okay. That's okay. So everybody, Margie, if you could drop Little Southern Brothers as well, drop their link in here. And if you're not subscribed to either myself or any one of the channels, go ahead, subscribe. It's all good. We won't get upset.
Don't forget to hit that like button either.
Absolutely. Lori was all over that there. I was watching the chat. I usually talk more, but we just got into such good conversation that I know I've got some amazing moderators that they have me covered. And of course, now I cannot find. Oh, so yeah, Donna also put on here. Her son Landon got 10 copyrights on his channel from singing.
Wow.
From singing. How are they doing a copyright?
So, no, get this one. The Little Southern Brothers channel got copyrighted from 100-year-old hymn.
Wow. See, that's what I was telling her today. We was talking about that, and I was like, well, we've got a couple of videos up with some older church music in them and stuff, Christian music, and I was like, well, they haven't.
If they can make out what it is, they will copyright you.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That stinks.
It really does, but you kind of got to look at it their way.
Right.
They have to be pretty stringent on it, or the people that are always pushing the boundaries, like nothing to do with our community or whatever, but the people that are well over 1 million subs and whatever that are pushing the limits of everything, the same rules apply to them as it does to us now.
Yeah.
Right.
And with the robot, now they just have to type in that they have somebody going through our channels now, and if somebody doesn't like a video or watch a video for a certain amount of time, it kicks you out.
Kicks you out. Yeah. We went to there. We was around 100 subscribers. We would get up to 105 and go back to 90 and get up to 105 and go back to 90. It just kept taking them away,
Yeah.
And we couldn't figure out why, but then we finally realized why,
That's why it's so important to hit that like button and comment so you stay subscribed. Yeah,
like there's a lot of music we can play. It's YouTube has their list of people we can put in all our videos or whatever, and there's also a couple other ones. As long as it's an original jingle, they can't touch you with that, obviously. But I everybody gets upset, but and me too. I'm the biggest one that gets. I've seen me go from 190 back down to 160, and I just keep playing in there. It just can't seem to get over that 200. So it is what it is, and you know what? I didn't start the channel to really do anything other than what I'm doing right now. Try to help folks out and put a smile on some. And it's just your story just touched a nerve to say that I just wish there was more people like yourselves all across the greater.
Wouldn't it be an awesome thing?
Well, and I mean up here as well. It's
right.
It's we're separated by a border, but that's it.
Right.
your veterans are our
It's
veterans, and our
inspired.
veterans are your veterans. You know, I'm a big proponent of, you know, your country looks like my country. It's just down where you guys are just a heck of a lot warmer than what we are.
Yeah.
Except whenever you guys were freezing, we were warmer than you up here.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was joking with Cassie and Brandon all the time. I was like, "How much snow you guys got? We have none." And yeah, it was quite funny there for about 3 weeks this winter. It was actually warmer to be in Canada than what it was to be in Oklahoma.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was quite ironic. But anyways, I do appreciate you guys coming on, and
We greatly appreciate you having us.
Thank
well,
you.
it's the least I can do. I wish it was closer, but you know, it is what it is, and we've got such an amazing community that I'm not too concerned that people won't rally around. And you know, the biggest thing would be if somebody knows anybody that owns a grocery store around you that would help to feed the hogs.
Yeah.
Like that right there, the price of feed. Yeah.
Right.
You'd be
That's
able
one
to,
of those other things that skyrocketed.
We
Yeah.
have a place in town that
A warehouse.
during school season they prepare meals for schools. So when they switch stock out or whatever, they do, you know, we know a lady that works there, and she calls us and says, "Hey, you know, come by and pick this up. It's being thrown away today."
Sometimes it's a whole pallet of carrots.
Yeah. I mean, so anything like that helps.
absolutely.
But that's only during the school year. And of course, you know, with all this stuff going on, school really hasn't been enforced, you know, doing all that great. So it is what it is. And, you know, I think it'll get better once things settle down, I guess, if it ever does.
Yeah. Well, like I say, if you're watching this in the rerun, jump over to their channel, touch base with them if you can help them out in any way. You know, even if, like I was, you know, it's quite funny. Like I was saying to you yesterday, Mackenzie's not been online, and to actually have her chatting with you folks the other night was, you know, I was shocked. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and you know, talking about the different things that we have up here that you guys may not have. In you know,
It was
like
amazing to see how many similarities and differences there was.
absolutely.
I mean, in the projects that we're working on, like you're working on there, we're working on here, kind of align with each other. So
Kind
that's
of.
awesome.
Yeah, it's just I don't have a, you know, a huge farm, and but I do have a whole lot of farmers in the area, and you know, the, once I go live with the program, I'm obviously going to be doing a video or several videos because it's not going to be all done in one video.
Right.
It's taken reason it's taken 2.5 years is partly because of the pandemic, but you know, people are still hungry, and I still, any way I can, I will get it out. And but our biggest thing is, you know, and my whole mandate, why I even got into municipal politics, was for kids, to make
Right.
sure that, you know, if we don't set up, you know, if we don't set up communities with enough stuff for kids, they're going to leave. They're not going to come back, you know.
Right.
And you know, then the whole family democratic kind of, you know, spreads itself out. And you know, if you can, the way I look at it, if you help a few people, you've helped, you know, more than enough. Or not
Right,
more than
exactly.
enough, but you know what I mean. As long as you keep somebody benefits from it, that's, you know, that's all you can ask. And
That's
you're not going to save the world in one day, And, you know, like you said earlier, there's only one person that has the answer, and
Yeah.
he's
So
up there.
I started to kind of touch on that a while ago, but you know, if out of the 30 people we feed every week, if 5 of those people really are the, you know, really needed it, that makes me happy.
Yep.
Yeah, well, and that's it. That's 30 people, and you know yourself that it's going to grow by a couple every time. You know,
I hope so. Yeah.
Look at that one gentleman you were telling me about that was bussed in, that didn't have any shoes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like,
Yep.
I guess I just kind of go, you know, why would, instead of like getting to the bottom of the problem, you're going to share the problem with more communities.
Right. Right.
And again, we're not going to be able to answer, you know, why they do it. I think we know why they do it, but, you know, anyways. So again, thank you all for coming.
Thanks,
And,
everybody.
We still have 14 people in here, which is, you know, great.
That's incredible.
Listening to us ramble on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
But
thanks for being part of the conversation, guys.
And guys, something Scott said a while ago, even if you just keep us in your prayers, that's all we ask.
Yeah.
I mean,
you can't donate anything. Just pray for our mission. Pray for those people who are out on the streets without a clean pair of socks or a warm place to sleep. Prayers are free.
And on that, everybody, you have a great Friday, and I'll see you guys in the back door.
Thanks. See you guys.
See you guys. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, this isn't an apple. Hang on.